sound good. So most people don't write music this way or look at music this way, but this is an actual piece from the Arbenz book. It's also I play more vocal music than anything else. I really do. I want to play trumpet. If I played a recital and somebody said to me, I forgot you were playing trumpet, you reminded me of a singer, I think that'd be the best compliment I could ever get. Because brass players aren't very smart, really. You know, like we think about things differently than other musicians. Because of the complexities of playing the instrument, we generally will play things unmusically, basically. So what I do here when I practice this way is these are little sub-phrases. Every bracket is a phrase, okay? So when I play, I'll play that first line or so. And I want to connect everything like this. Pulling to the downbeat. Everything is pulling to the downbeat. The magic of music and phrasing is the upbeats. It really is the upbeats. The downbeats are going to take care of themselves. But if you pay attention to these upbeats, and that's what I'm trying to do with these brackets, it's going to sound very musical. Upbeats where you want to pay the attention to. That's what the brackets are. It's bracketed starting. Every time that there's a bracket, it starts on an upbeat. And I want to pull it to the next downbeat every single time. Does that make sense? Right? So when I practice this, if I were going to practice this to play it in a recital, I would spend probably a week or two just playing. And as you know, whatever instrument you have, clarinet players have a couple different instruments. We have 4 or 5 different instruments that we want to play. I am doing a recital in New York City, and I'm playing a lot of flugelhorn in 2 weeks from now. And so every single day, I pull out a different piece of music, and I'll put these brackets on them, and I'll play each instrument that I'm playing for the recital. The next thing I'll show you how I practice, or did practice, is also a piece from the upcoming recital. It's the second movement of the Michael Dougherty piece. And you can see the intervals. This is one of the more difficult sections in the piece. And so these intervals are difficult. Step one is I want to know what I'm aiming at. I have no shot at playing these intervals correctly if I don't know what they are. So I write them every time in major 7, perfect 4th, major 7, perfect 4th. A lot of them are the same thing, but they look awkward on the page. And as brass players, this is difficult. I'll start the bar before G, I guess. So each one of those intervals, you really want to know what it is before you start shooting blindly. The other thing is, does anybody see the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson? You remember what he told his sons when they were learning to shoot guns? There was a particular phrase. Aim small, miss small. Who said that? There you go. Yeah. As a brass player, my biggest issue with this is I tried to play too loud. I tried to play too fast. So if I can tell myself aim small, miss small on these large intervals like that, then I have a better chance at it. Like if I back off and not try to blow the walls down, it makes it a whole lot easier. Right? It's a small stream of air. It's exactly like you're going to water ski. And I tell this to a lot of people. The band heard me say it the other day. When you water ski, what do? You don't stick your knees in the water and try to drag yourself through the water, right? You skate right on top of that water. And so what I want my airstream to do there is just flow and skate right on top of that water. And so all this deliberate practice that I was talking about, that's my goal, is I want to have it be like I'm water skiing. Like my airstream is literally moving forward, just right on top of that water. I never want to dig in. I think one more, maybe two examples. Yeah. For example, here. Two things I want to point out with this particular excerpt, which sounds like this, I hope. There's different ways that I would approach this too, practice-wise. And you see my brackets at the beginning there. And what I do every time I start this excerpt is I'll start. And I pull to the next downbeat. And that's exactly what I'm thinking as I'm playing this whole excerpt. The other thing is, you got to do something, it's difficult. There's no way around it. So to make that less difficult, I want to invent something or go to a method book that's more difficult than what that is. And for me, it's this exercise. Has anybody ever watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Remember the Neighborhood of Make-Believe theme? Every time I play this particular, it's a Herbert L. Clarke study number 4, but it sounds like the trolley every time. Right? So the difficulty technique, trumpet-wise, is getting this third finger, and Dr. Olson, I'm sure you know, this finger and pinky on piano are the same thing. So I want to get that third finger moving so this flows freely, in addition to skating on top of the water with my air. Right? So there's different practice techniques I would use that. And finally, one other passage, also from the same piece. And here at the end, you see my brackets. I'll start where that first bracket is, whatever that measure is, 137. But I'm thinking exactly what is in those brackets every time I do it. Each one of those 16ths, pull to the next downbeat. And it makes it less intimidating. It makes it easier to play if you think of note grouping that way. All right? So take those practice habits that you practice very deliberately. All of this has been thought out for months, and I've written it down, keep practice journals, everything. It's like, this is what I'm going to do today, and here's how I'm going to do it. Every single time. I rarely will ever play something without thinking about it in mind. Unless I just want to play something and have it sound good. You know, like every so often, I'll just play something and want it to sound beautiful. Right? Not beautiful. We're getting there. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about moving my air and not digging under the water. And then you turn it into something. So you just take something and make it sound beautiful, whether you were planning on doing that or not. Thank you. Are there any questions? And if anybody wants this PowerPoint, you're